All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Livewire. I'm your host, Jared Moore, and Livewire is the program where we take your questions from the chat. Today's guest, he is a visual artist, he's a tattoo artist, he's a rapper, he's an actor, he's a man of so many talents. He has a stage name of Sten Joddi. Thank you so much for joining us today, Sten Joddi.
Blessings. How you doing out there, man? How's it going in Oklahoma?
It's going. You know how it is down here on the reservation. So, before we get too deep, and you'll have to forgive me because I wanted to get this out of the way. For people who don't know the Mvskoke language, right? Could you kind of give some background on your stage name? What does it mean? What is it?
In the Mvskoke language, we have Sten Joddis. Sten Joddi is Native people. And so I felt like I wanted to represent not only Indigenous people with a name that represents not only myself, Indigenous people, but also the tribe and our language. And when coming up with that name, I didn't think when not that I came up with that name, but when I decided to use that as what I wanted to be called at that point, I was really getting in tune with the culture and our tribal ways. I was starting to re-educate myself. A lot of things. So yeah, it meant a lot to me, and I wear it with pride, and I wear it with honor, and I wear it with humility and humbleness. And I know that it carries a lot of weight. So I try to live my life in that good way, man. So
Absolutely.
Definitely wanted to represent our people with that name, man.
Awesome. So, and I want to remind everybody, if you have any questions, just pop them into the YouTube chat and we'll try to get them asked. So, people are seeing you on FX Reservation Dogs. You're kind of blowing up right now. You also were awarded from the Native American Music Awards Male Artist of the Year and Best Hip Hop Recording. What was that like? You went to the ceremony and everything, I'm assuming?
Yeah. So, we took off Thursday, a couple of Thursdays ago, and I had gotten asked. So previously years, I've won the best hip hop album of the year before in 2017 at the Native American Music Awards, and then I was a part of a collaborative song that won best song that year as well, and so. There we go.
We're back.
Sorry about that.
No, it's no problem.
So that happened in 2018. I won Best Dance Song at the Native American Music Awards, and then I always wanted to perform there, and we've been there a few times, and so I noticed that Mike Bone performed there the first year we went in 2017. And I just felt like, I wanted to represent not only hip hop in the genre that I am in, but I wanted to represent our tribe, and I wanted to perform. And it took many years of me asking and like, when could that happen? And then COVID hit. And so like the music that I got the awards for this year was actually like a year behind in submissions.
I see.
When that was submitted, that was 2019. But the album is still amazing, and the tracks that are on it and the people that are a part of it is insane. And when we got there, we got snowed in Buffalo, man. And it was 7 feet of snow.
Whoa.
I was like, oh, I did not know, you know, what I was in for. You know what I mean?
What was the hospitality like?
Lakes,
Yeah.
yeah, being on those Great Lakes, those natives are used to it up there.
Yeah, yeah. I bet they had a plan for everything. They're like, "What's your problem?" You know.
Yeah, like
So,
you trying to keep me here, man. And, you know,
how did you get started in music? You know, is this something that's been a passion from when you were little, or is like suddenly you're like, I got to do something, or like, what's the story?
Yeah, so you know, I grew up in Glenpool, and I ran around Tulsa and Okmulgee and Sapulpa my whole young life, and yeah, I mean, hip hop was definitely a huge influence on me, humongous. As a native kid coming up in Glenpool and Tulsa and Okmulgee and all these surrounding areas, you know, in the '90s, as we all know, and before even to this generation now, before this generation, we didn't have any representation,
Right.
you know, on TV, in movies, none of these things that, you know, my kids are, you know, privileged to have because of amazing natives that push through to create that lane for us to walk in, you know?
Yeah.
And so coming up, back to that, just coming up, man, like I didn't really have anything to relate to as far as musical wise or anything other than the rap and hip hop culture,
Right.
the black culture, the black movies, you know, movies like Boys in the Hood, not because they were black or because they were in the hood, but because they were just four friends trying to survive the world they lived in.
Yeah.
And I could relate to that so much that, you know, and also, like, you know, the music, it told a story. So that was something I could relate to as well. The stories in hip hop, the struggles in hip hop were definitely something I could relate to in my everyday life. You know.
And the culture too with hip hop is kind of like open source, where it's like anybody can get into it. You know, like you can get into it. They're not like saying you can't do it because you're an Indian or something like that. You know.
Right, and you're gonna get those you know, you're gonna get situations where, you know, not only your friends just clown you, like you're not that good, man. You know, that gives you that push to become better. And it started when I was about 13 or 14. I started really like writing and freestyling my own music. I kind of started tattooing around the same time. Drawing was always something I did. These two things, music and art in that other form of, you know, drawing and stuff, was something that was always, the creator always was trying to push me towards throughout my life. And sometimes, you know, I'm listening and I'm trying to do tattoos. Again, you know, coming up in Oklahoma in the 90s, tattoos were really not something that a teacher was going to tell a 14-year-old is a viable career choice, you know. Did you
when you were tattooing at that time, did you ever make the tattoo pin out of like the ballpoint pin and the guitar string with the little electric motor?
So I started with stick poking, right? Like
okay,
right around the end of the needle,
and
you just kind of poke your way around stuff. So that's what I started doing. I didn't know that you could put a gun together and stuff. Until later on in my life, when, of course, I went down the wrong roads and I found myself in county jails and locked up in the system. You know, I'm here to say those things too, that I've fell hard. I've been to jail. I've been addicted to drugs, and you know, I'm still a recovering alcoholic every single day. You know, it's sometimes I fall off, sometimes I get back on, but I try to live a good life, and I try to continue the that healthy mentality and lifestyle, you know. But yeah, I mean, tattoos and music has always been something that literally saved my life. In
Absolutely.
times where I found myself homeless, I found myself hungry, you know. Tattoos have saved my life. Music has given me a way to tell my story as well. And, you know, you know, I'm thankful and grateful for it. You know what I
I
mean?
think there's a time too, like my experience with talking to natives that are like, moving up in the art world or in artistic endeavors, right? There's like a period where you have this realization, it's like that you can do it, like even though that there's no role models to look up to, like you were talking about, you're like, you know what, it is possible. Like, and normally that's like some type of a situation that you're in. Was there a moment like that for you?
Well, you know, it was always me trying to prove to myself, to my mom, the people that said I couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of used that energy, right?
Right.
So for me, it was always the doubters. You know, your mom, she's always going to tell you that you can do it.
Right.
You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? No matter what.
Yeah.
So like, for my mom, and people that love me, they're going to get behind you. But when you don't have those people, sometimes you got to find energy to keep going in other ways, right?
Yeah.
So like,
yeah.
Again, my music is full of struggle and things that I have overcome. Like I said, homelessness and drug addiction and alcohol and all those things, and even anger issues and problems that I had with myself, mentality and mental health. All these things that I had to fight through to be where I'm at now, to be a better father and a better husband, a better friend, and a better person. And I'm learning every day. Like, I'm not perfect, and I mess up, and so I'm just trying to be the best me I can be each and every single day. You know what I mean? And I welcome criticisms and all those things now without feeling like I'm being judged or something, right?
Right.
So like,
right.
now, at this point, it's kind of like I had more doubts in myself, and with the drive of people like my wife and like I said, the memory of my mom. I lost my mom in 2017, but her energy still is here with me. So
Right.
I just keep on pushing, man, and each person and each individual is going to have to find those things that you have to find, that energy that's going to help you push through, and whatever that may be, you need to find that for yourself and really look into self for happiness, because I thought other things were going to make me happy,
Right.
and they didn't, and I had to find that happiness within myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then I could be I could be the best person I can be every day, and just continue to be better.
We've had a couple of questions or comments in our chat, and I just was going to run them by you real quick. And you kind of answered this earlier, but T.Y. Prohl says, how does tattooing relate in terms of cultural and artistic expression?
For me, tattooing was something that I didn't really know was a real cultural significance at the time. It
Right.
was just something that when I was a youngster, man, it was just like, it was a little bit of, I used to like tag and do stuff like that, like graffiti arts. And so a lot of that, it was me just kind of pushing those boundaries of being a little as we say on the show, the little shit ass, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so at the time, it wasn't very significant to me. It was just something I was doing. But as I've gotten older and as I've gotten more in depth in my craft, it's definitely a individual person based situations sometimes. And tattoos mean a lot to me. Again, it tells my story. It's like my music.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just kind of wrapped in together for me. And then when I create tattoos for people, it's on an individual basis, and how I approach each person and each piece of art. But I look at it like this: every tattoo I do is indigenous because
Right.
I'm doing it.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And how do you take clients on that, or do you do clients? Is this something where you only do it if you have a personal relationship with the person? Do you do it as an exchange, or?
No, man. So I opened up. I've been tattooing as a licensed tattoo artist in the state of Iowa for probably close to 17 years, 16, 17
Okay.
years now.
Okay.
I've opened my shop going on 6 years. I opened my own shop. I was apprenticed and I worked for a great artist, Don Merle, here in North Iowa, and he pretty much gave me my opportunity after. I was working at McDonald's and stuff, man. Like, that's what I was working at McDonald's, doing tattoos on the side and trying to find studio time so I could make music. And to stay out of the street life and to stay out of the bad decisions and out of jail. And I started to really try to change my life in that aspect. And then that's when he seen some of the work I was doing around town was showing up at his tattoo shop. And so he was like, hey, man, tell that kid to come in here and talk to me.
Oh, wow.
So I met him, and he gave me an opportunity to be a legit tattoo artist. And 16 years later, I own my own shop, and it's incorporated with the recording studio. So I have my tattoo shop and recording studio in the same building. Yeah, man. I mean, it's been a struggle, but I'm here,
Yeah, for sure. Well, we have people on staff that wanted me to ask you how they could get you to do a tattoo on them. So that's all. I'll tell them they gotta get a plane ticket to Iowa. Are you
the best way?
Are you ever at the shop though? Like you have to be going on tour and doing stuff like going out to shoot. Like when are you going to be there?
Lately, I have been moving around this year a lot. But I try. So a lot of people have this idea that you have to tour in a way of being away from your family and going away for 90 days to 120 days of nonstop, every club, every bar, every.
Right.
And when I started doing this, I manifested this in my mind, and I said I don't want to do that type of tour because I want to be able to bring my family. I want to be able to.
Yeah.
So unless they have like a tour bus for my family, then
Right.
In my mind, I said, why can't I just book shows, go to that one, do that, come back home, hang out with family,
right,
book another show, go and do that, come back home, hang out with family, go do another show. You see? That way I'm not always on the road, and I'm at home at, between, 2 or 3 weeks at a time. Sometimes it's only a week I'm home, but still it's like I can be here as well as I can do tattoos while I'm home. And, that's how I usually book things, book tattoo appointments and book, performances and speaking engagements and stuff like that.
Well, that's really interesting because it seems like it's a very native approach to what you're doing because you're putting your family before everything else, which is awesome.
Yeah, I just kind of felt like if I'm traveling, then if it's close enough, our whole family will drive together.
Mm-hmm.
If I have to fly and it's pretty far away, my rider has 2 plane tickets round trip. You have to pay for one of my family members to come with me. So it could be one of my daughters, or my wife. Maybe one of my friends or something like that. You know what I mean? But I try to keep it with my family, and then that's kind of how it has to be, or I don't do it because
right.
It's very important to me to keep my family around me.
Yeah.
It's something that I take a lot of pride in, and and I take a lot of honor in my family, my children, my boys, my daughters.
Well, we had some more questions pop up while we were talking. I'm just going to run through them real quick because we're getting close to the 30-minute mark here. So here's another question from T.Y. Pearl. Are you familiar with the reintegration program? Our citizens in the program need your inspiration to utilize art as expressive rehabilitation to shake the sad sickness. Are you familiar with the Creek Nation's reintegration program at all?
I'm not sure.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll send you some an email with some contact info because they have a program here at the Creek Nation government where it's like they have housing for people that are coming out of the prison system and everything, and rehabilitation program and everything. And you might get in touch with them. Maybe you could work something out with them to do a concert or something like that. I think is what T.Y. Pearl's referring to. And then
I would definitely be interested in trying to help in any way possible, for any rehabilitation for brothers or sisters getting out of
awesome.
Lockup, man.
Yeah, and it's a really good program. It's won a lot of awards. T.Y. Pearl has another question here. He says, ever thought about collaborating musically with local artists from different genres like John Moreland or John Fulbright? And I'm not familiar with them, but have you ever heard of those guys?
I'm always up for any collaborations.
Okay.
I'm always up for new music from.
If these guys
got some country or rock or EDM or any of that stuff, man, I'm down, man.
How should they get in touch with you? Is the social media the best way to do it? If these guys want to,
social media. I mean, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Sten Joddi at gmail.com if you want serious bookings or anything like that. But just get at me on any of the socials. I'm the only one. I don't have a social media manager. Okay. So when you're talking to me, you're really talking to me.
Awesome.
You're not talking to some computer bot or nothing.
Gotcha.
So and I might not be able to get to your message right away, but I will get to it.
Yeah. It's on Indian time.
Yeah, Indian time for sure.
So I kind of used up all of my interview time, but I did want to ask you, most people that see this are going to know you from Reservation Dogs. And how did that happen? Like, how did all those connections happen that got you onto the show? And then some of the stuff that you've done on there musically is just inspired because it's really bringing aspects of Mvskoke culture in particular that out to the mainstream that, I personally would never have thought would be out there, So how did that happen? We've got a couple of minutes, so go for it.
All right. First of all, shout out to Sterling Harjo and the Res Dogs crew and writers and everybody, man, because I put that on everything. Like, without them, you wouldn't even be talking to me probably right now. And a lot of people wouldn't even know who Sten Joddi is. I do want to say, I'm not a punkin. I just play one on TV. and I definitely love all my kids, and they live in my house with me and my wife. I just want people to know that.
Yeah, it's a character. It's not a real.
It was a TV show. It's not reality. All right. Okay.
All right. That's good. And it's good that you say that because it should be mentioned.
The pandemic happened. I got on TikTok because one of my daughters told me I should download it because it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I started to do goofy videos and lip sync all these movie clips and stuff.
Uh-huh.
A few months into that, I got an email about being on Res Dogs, man. And,
wow.
And they wanted me to audition. And so it was just the creator, man. Had nothing
That's
to do
amazing.
with me submitting any materials or nothing. They just must have seen me on YouTube or Facebook or TikTok or.
And it's
sure.
like that.
Probably Mike Bone.
Yeah, I was going to say it's also that native network, that native connections, like everybody gets pulled together into different projects or different, like there's a stomp dance somewhere, you got to get to it, how do I get there type of deal. So, it was great.
It's crazy, man.
It's great
to. It works that way.
Yeah, for sure. It's great to have you on the program. Is there anything that maybe you want to talk about, you want to mention before we get out of here that we haven't talked about? A shout out you want to give somebody or anything like that?
I just want all those kids, man, that may not feel like, anybody understands you, or you might feel alone, or you might feel like you just hold on, man. Just hold on, stay strong. Don't give up on whatever you're dreaming of doing, because it is possible. I wouldn't believe it until it happened to me, and I want you to know that it's real. And you can be from the res, you can be from the city, you can be from wherever you want to be. It doesn't matter, and you can succeed. And there's natives out here representing now.
Yes.
And so the OGs like Wes Studi and Graham Greene and all those OGs that did it before us, man, they kicked in the door. So now that we can tell our stories the way it is, and we're finally being able to do it. And I just want you to know that the world is there for you to take it. So make sure you take it, and make sure you go out there and be the best whatever you want to be. And I want you to just know that you can.
Perfect. I couldn't have said it better myself. I do want to ask you one more question before we get out of here. What's next?
I don't know, man. I'm just creating music, and I'm waiting for opportunities. And that's all I'm kind of doing, man. I'm just kind of living my life and paying these bills and continuing to, try to be the best dad I can be, and work out every day, eat healthy, try not to have too many McDonald's cheeseburgers or too many fried breads.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
I try not to, but just trying to live healthy, man. That's what I'm doing.
Awesome. Well, if anything comes up, hit us up. We'd love to have you back on the program anytime. It's been a pleasure, sir. And
yes,
for all you viewers out there that are watching, we're going to have another live stream later this month. It's going to be like a Christmas live stream. We haven't figured out what day we're going to do it on, but I can tell you that we're going to have the new Spam Figgy Pudding limited edition Spam flavor. We're going to be doing a taste test and probably going to be giving away some cans of Spam through the live stream is what I want to try to do. So if you want to get the new Spam hotness, you need to catch this next live stream that's coming out. There are some events that are going to be happening out here at the Claude Cox Omniplex Friday evening from 3 to 9. There's going to be a Christmas carnival that you guys could go out there and get your picture taken with Santa for free and everything. So go check that out. If you need more details, there's probably a post on the Creek Nation Facebook page, the public relations page. So go check that out. And Sten Joddi, thanks so much for being on the program. It's been great. And for everybody out there that tuned in, Mado, and we'll see you later. Chihicha, please.